have any questions?
Yeah, who's going to start the Iron Bowl? Quarterback.
Lead off with it. I don't know yet. I thought Jeremy and John both did a good job last evening for us, which was good. They'd been repping in practice the last couple of weeks when Sean hadn't been practicing. We'll see probably more tonight and tomorrow, maybe where Sean is in the process, and try to make a call, at least on our end, earlier in the week so we can prepare the way we need to. So, but I wouldn't rule any of them out right now.
How different is it this week with the classes, being able to, a lot more treatment time?
Right.
How much does that help Sean?
Yeah, it's good. It helps everybody. It takes the load off their minds of having to go to school. They can focus on the game, the one game. It does give more time for treatment and those kind of things too, like you said. So it gives you an opportunity to heal up best you can, which a lot of times guys find ways to do that when they're really hurt for a big game anyways. But most important, it'll give those guys more time to watch film and just, try to mentally prepare for what they know it's going to be. It's the greatest rivalry in college football, so they're ready for that every year. Right.
Just what are you hoping to see in practice? You said that you know what he can do physically, but when he hasn't thrown the ball in 3 weeks, really, except for the Georgia game.
Right.
What do you hope to see?
Well, it's a fair question. You want to know, one, can he play and play at a high level? It's one thing to say, okay, he can throw the ball, but can he play at a level we need him to be able to play it, and that he needs to be able to play it to be at his best? I think the second thing, he's got to be able to protect himself. And so, again, we're going to make the best decision for him, first of all, health-wise, and then second of all, for our team. And but just the truth is, with what our doctors tell us, it's almost day to day at this point with a lot of our guys, unfortunately. As many guys as we had out last night, it'll probably be, because we don't practice at all till tomorrow. So you got Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, somewhere in that window for a lot of guys before we know who's available, and if so, what capacity are they available at.
Does he need to be at a better level than what he was heading into Georgia?
Heading into Georgia, I didn't feel bad about where he was because he had come in the second half of the Vanderbilt game and performed fine. I think it was the fact that he got hurt on the opening drive, and we didn't really know to what extent at that time. I think that probably inhibited him. And I think, again, he'll tell you he wasn't at his best, but we dropped some balls. We did some other things. It wasn't like he threw 10 or 12 or whatever straight incompletions in the ground. But, again, if he's not healthy enough to give us a chance to win the game and protect himself, we won't put him out there. And if he is, then we will. And so that's just a decision we'll make here in the next couple of days. Yeah, I think all those guys. We're optimistic. A lot of guys that didn't get to play, we're optimistic that a lot of them will be back. But, again, until we get out on the practice field predominantly tomorrow, being the first day we'll be out as a unit, probably Monday and Tuesday, because, yeah, their trainers tell us what they do with them. But until we can get out and see them do football moves, at football speed, it's sometimes hard to know. And there's that fine line because you got to know where they are so you can plan. But you also, if you know they can play, you want to let them get as healthy as they can get. But, a game like this heals people pretty quick.
How much was it positive to see Kerryon look a little bit quicker even last night than he had last couple of weeks?
Yeah, it was good. I think Kerryon was the first to say that he told me, I think on Thursday, he said, hey, I'm like 90-95%. I'm getting close. He said, I'm feeling a lot better now. It's because he wanted to play. But, there were still a couple times you can tell he's not full go because I think that first third down, he'd probably scored a touchdown if he was. But I don't think he was any worse for playing, and I think he did some good things. And, so I feel good knowing that we'll have him. So.
Rhett, can you talk about the second offense? They really played well the third quarter.
They really did. And, that's what we were hoping. We get to play a lot of those guys in meaningful time. And, I think our second O-line did a really good job. Guys like Marquell Harrell came in and did a really nice job. You had seniors like Deion Mix or junior, but senior like Xavier Dampier. They came in and did a solid job. And then, Tyler Carr, who's been playing a lot of guard, even played some right tackle and was really pleased with how he did. So those guys up front did a really nice job. Obviously, Cameron Martin played very well. I was happy to see that. We felt good and confident that he could do that. And so that was good as well. Yeah, I think Tega got dinged up a little bit during the game, and so that's why we did that.
For the freshman in particular, the skill positions, you mentioned Cam, but he didn't play in the first half last night, really, like one play or something.
Right.
And the freshman receivers, they haven't played in a game of this magnitude before. You don't really have seniors and more experienced players necessarily to rely on there. So just how comfortable are you with the reality that you're going to have to put freshman receivers into the Iron Bowl, you're going to have to put possibly a freshman running back in?
I feel pretty good about it, and I think for a couple of reasons. One, they've played a whole season at this point. So they're not really freshmen, and they've been in some good environments. So, obviously it's the Iron Bowl. Everybody knows that, and until you've been to one of those, you don't really get it, okay? And but they're kids. They're 18 to 22-year-old kids. And sometimes what you don't know is almost better than what you do. And they're going to go out there. I know those guys. I just know their mentality. They're confident in themselves. They believe in what their coaches are coaching them to do. And they're going to go out and play as hard as they can. And are they going to be perfect? I don't know. Probably not. But we know we're going to get their best. I don't think the moment will be too big for anybody. And I think, our confidence probably was shown last night when you start Eli Stove, Kyle Davis, and Darius Slayton, who I know is a redshirt freshman, but all freshmen to start the game. And so, again, we're going to be confident in the guys we have that we put out there. And the biggest thing we have to do is give them an opportunity to go win the game.
Talked to Kyle last night. He was just happy to be playing this season because of his preseason injuries and everything. What do you make of his year so far?
Yeah, the preseason injury set him back a little bit and just being ready to go on the front end a little bit, just from a rep standpoint in the spring and in fall camp. And I know that frustrated him, but he's done well. He's progressed well. I think he's to a point now where he's comfortable that he knows the offense. It's just sometimes until you've played games enough because, you have an offense, you have rules, and you rep it in practice. When you get in the game, it's always a little different than what you practice, and you got to be able to use your instincts and adjust. And the only way you can ever get better at that is game reps. And so it was good for him to get a lot of game reps last night even. It doesn't matter who you're playing or what you're doing, just playing the game, you get better each week. And one thing he does most of the time is catch the football, and that's always the number one trait of a receiver. So that's why we got confidence to keep putting him out there.
Did his development get accelerated because of the injury situation you had at that position, or was it kind of at the level you wanted it to be at?
I don't know about his development, probably his opportunities. Because you look at the Mississippi State game, and he caught a wheel route, and he had a nice run. I mean, when KJ got dinged up. And so, when you have a healthy Kerryon Johnson, you have a healthy Cameron Petway, and they were running the way they do, it's hard to play more than two guys a lot. And so it wasn't necessarily that we didn't believe in him or his development wasn't quite where it needed to be. Obviously I think the better he'll be over his career, he'll get a little bigger, put a little more weight on. But you saw he's quick. He can run the ball. He's got some good speed to get the edge. He plays tough. I mean, he runs north-south downhill for a smaller guy. But I'd say just probably the injuries have helped his opportunities increase at a faster rate than maybe they would have.
Rick, you talk about you don't know what it's like until you experience it. Can you just describe what that is that you don't know, that somebody doesn't know until they go?
It's hard to do. Well, I did just get goosebumps you talking about it. That sounds kind of weird, but it's just it's the best atmosphere. It doesn't matter where you play at. I didn't know when I came here in 2009. You hear about it, and I'd grown up at Arkansas watching, the Auburn, Alabama games. It was always a good game around Thanksgiving, that kind of deal. And most people, I think, that have never been to one think, well, yeah, there's a good one up north. There's a good rival over here. Until you get to it, and I've been blessed to coach in 2 national championship games and 3 SEC championship games. This will be my 6th Iron Bowl. But once I went to that first one in 2009, I figured it out real quick that it's just a different level. The atmosphere from the time you get off the bus to pregame to during the game, it's a heated rivalry. But there's a respect factor from both teams too that's different than most. But just the intensity, you can feel it when you walk in the stadium, and it's pretty much unmistakable.
Discuss the quarterbacks and the flanks for this game. Is it one of those situations where it's going to be Jeremy or it will be Sean as the starter, or is John involved in that, considering that we haven't really seen him throw the ball
Right.
much at all in the last few years?
Right. It's probably too early to say anything to that magnitude. I mean, we felt like Jeremy had prepared well and being senior day earned the opportunity to start. I thought he, probably take 2 plays away. I thought he played really well. And John obviously has been repping in the backup spot all year. You hadn't seen him throw it as much. Sometimes that's because he's such a good guy running the football that it eliminates some of those things. But got confidence in him to do that, and then we'll just see where Sean is. So it's probably too early to give you any – I don't want to give you something that's not accurate or concrete.
What stands out to you, and I don't want to give you goosebumps, but
I knew someone was going to drill me for saying that, but that's fair enough. Fair enough.
I mean, is it just kind of the same every year, or is there something, is there anything that stands out?
No, they're different. I mean, it's the best defense in college football. I think that's pretty obvious. Statistically, it's proven, but just the way they've performed has proven that. And Jeremy's always done a great job with wherever he's been, and obviously Nick Saban does the same thing. But they're still stopping the run at a very high level, which they've always done, and I think that's what all good defenses do. But the rate at which they've been able to generate turnovers for touchdowns has been pretty remarkable. And I think that goes back to they have the ability to rush the passer probably than they've ever done. and they've always had good players. But with Tim Williams and Ryan Anderson and a couple of those guys, I mean, they can rush the passer at the level of a guy like Carl Lawson for us, the guys at A&M. I mean, Arden Key. I mean, there's some great ones in our league, and they've got guys that can do that, where in the past they've had more run-stopping D linemen. They've got both now, and I think that helps them, you know, make more of those explosive plays as a defense.
But you talk about them creating turnovers and scoring off of them.
Yeah.
I mean, do you ever see a defense that has done what they've done this year?
No, I haven't. You'll see a defense every now and then get on a streak and get a couple games. I think at one time they had more touchdowns than half the offenses or something crazy. There was some crazy stat 5 weeks into the season I saw. But, you know, I mean, it's credit to them for attacking and making plays and then finding ways to finish plays. So, you know, we can't turn the ball over, period. But we obviously can't turn the ball over for them to get points out of it either.
All right.
What you got? Go ahead.
I was preferring not to do this on camera, but do you think, in your mind at all, and I know the answer already, but that this could be your last game here?
What's the answer then if you know it?
That you're focused on this and that things will fall out as they may, cliche.
I'll be honest with you. Today is Sunday, right? And we play Saturday, and again, the biggest game of the year for us every year. And so I've got about, I can't calculate the hours quick enough, 120 or whatever it may be, 144 to get ready for that. And it's not lip service or coach speak. I'm just ready to go give our guys the best chance to try to win that game. So it's a fair question, but the truth is, no, I haven't. Glad we got last night's game over with, and I got to give everything I have to this game for us to try to go do the best we can for our kids. All right. See y'all.
Thanks, Coach.